Drive it, the DW Car Show. Coming up, special edition, the Jaguar F-Type 400 Sport Convertible. A sporty SUV by Audi, the SQ5 on a test drive. And the new VW T-Roc. A world premiere in front of more than 300 journalists in Milan. Volkswagen presents the T-Roc to general acclaim. Some call it the Golf SUV, but VW is building the Tiguan's smaller brother as a standalone model. VW spokesman Herbert Diess says T-Roc was originally just a working title, but everyone liked it so much that the company kept it. VW couldn't have picked a better time to unveil the T-Roc. Production will begin right after the Frankfurt Auto Show. The cars will be built at a factory near Lisbon, Portugal. The T-Roc's design is simply striking. Volkswagen's Klaus Bischoff says the biggest challenge for a designer is to give the car a distinctive character, a product that will find a market for itself by attracting buyers, so that people say, that car looks great, I've got to have one.
Oh, das haben wir noch nie gesehen, das ist ja toll, das ist ja super, das will ich haben.
The distinguishing features of the T-Roc are its width, black mounting parts, removable roof, and a two-tone color scheme that stands out in city traffic. What do automotive reporters think of this car? Dietmar Stanke says it's a bold step forward for VW, and design chief Klaus Bischoff. You can also see it in the Arteon and the new Polo. The T-Roc has an edgier look than we've seen from VW in the last 15 years. The T-Roc features elevated seats. The vibrant colors in the cockpit may be distracting at first, but the whole dashboard area is well designed and easy to access.
Sehr gelungen.
Reporter Bettina Meyer says it's a great car, a typical VW that will sell well. But she says the back end slopes off a bit much. Bettina owns a dog, and he'd be more comfortable if the rear was square. She says that these sloping rear ends are part of a current trend. They're not practical if you have a large dog or a lot of stuff to carry around.
Abfallenden Hecks haben, was ein bisschen unpraktisch ist, wenn man viel transportieren muss oder wie ich einen großen Hund hat.
The T-Roc offers a good package of safety features, and a lot of the options can be customized, which should appeal to younger drivers.
Well, it's very interesting to see. I'm actually a big fan of the Tiguan, so we have to see if this is going to fill the gap in the slightly lower down section. Obviously, we're very excited to see what's going to happen next year with the introduction of the smallest ever SUV for Volkswagen. But for now, I think it's a very promising start. It's got some interesting character lines, it's dynamic, it's youthful, but I think it's going to find a very big home in the Volkswagen lineup, and I think people are going to like it a lot.
There are 6 engine options. 3 run on diesel and the other 3 on gasoline. Reporter Michael Speck says the T-Roc has more pizzazz than the Tiguan, maybe due to its better proportioned compact size. VW's designs always show up a little late, like with the Tiguan and Touran, but they're always a huge success. It'll be the same with the T-Roc. Car dealers say a lot of people have already been asking about it.
Die Händler reiben sich schon die Hände, weil so viele Kundennachfragen da sind. Also das Ding ist ein Selbstgänger.
The T-Roc's engine performance ranges from 85 kilowatts all the way to 140 kilowatts. The suggested retail price for the T-Roc in Germany is 20,000 euros. Car tester Ronnie Levstek says Jaguar's F-Type is such a beautiful sports car that it's hard to improve on it. But it's received a minor facelift. Now it has full LED headlights and air scoops on the front bumper to cool the brakes. This is a special edition, the 400 Sport.
Hier steht aktuell ein Sondermodell, und zwar der 400 Sport.
Most special editions are limited by number, but not with the 400 Sport. The limitation is it will be built for just 1 year. The 400 Sport comes only with an automatic transmission. The price for the coupe begins at just under 100,000 euros in Germany. The convertible, which we'll be test driving, costs at least 7,000 more. It's called the 400 Sport because it has 400 horsepower. That translates as 15 kilowatts more than the normal F-Type, but it has the same torque. Still, you can feel and hear the extra power. When you accelerate, this model roars and moves. And thanks to the torque vectoring system and all-wheel drive, the F-Type can take curves fast.
Und auch in den Kurven, dank dem Torque Vectoring System und dem Allradantrieb, zieht der F-Type wirklich ordentlich in die Kurve.
Ronnie says it's also possible to take a leisurely drive in the 400. Switching off the dynamic mode closes the exhaust valve cover and makes the suspension markedly softer. Step on the gas and the engine still purrs gently. The 3-liter V6 engine has a compressor. Its 294 kilowatts bring it up to 100 kilometers an hour in 5.1 seconds and to a top speed of 275 kilometers an hour. No question, that is sports car performance. Even though at 1,722 kilograms, the vehicle is fairly heavy. This Jaguar is a lot of fun. The car's adaptive suspension means Ronnie can switch drive modes. That substantially improves performance. Now he's choosing dynamic mode to get the sportiest performance.
Fährt man natürlich im sportlichen Modus.
The Jaguar F-Type 400 Sport is perfect for those who love detail and can afford a luxury car. What distinguishes the 400 Sport from the normal F-Type S? Dangerous-looking side skirts, big brake discs, 380 millimeters in diameter, dark 20-inch wheel rims, and yellow badging. Not much about the interior design is changed from the conventional F-Type. When you turn on the fan, the ventilation grills rise up from the dashboard. Ronnie says the Jaguar F-Type now comes in 28 different configurations: V8 or V6 engine, manual or automatic transmission, rear wheel or all-wheel drive, coupe, or like here, a convertible variant. Ronnie says it's a thrill to drive the 400 Sport fast with the top down, but he does find one drawback. It's not much for long trips. The most the trunk will hold is 2 tote bags. But there are alternatives. Porsche's Carrera convertible offers a rumble seat. A few pieces of luggage would fit on it. Porsche is rolling out the 3rd-generation Cayenne. The SUV has been reworked inside and out and the technology upgraded. The new interior is now closer to the Panamera, while the exterior is oriented on the 911s. It makes the leap from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 6.2 seconds, reaching a top speed of 245 kilometers an hour. In Germany, the Cayenne lists for about 75,000 euros. BMW's taking the next step toward sustainability with the new all-electric BMW i3S. A 135-kilowatt electric motor and sport suspension are standard. That lowers the clearance by about 10 millimeters. Beamer states the range is 200 kilometers of normal driving. The new electric car runs to 41,150 euros in Germany. The sportiest version of Audi's second-largest SUV has an S in front of its Q. One of the many differences between the SQ5 and the Q5 is that the suspension is 30 millimeters lower. Car tester Mathis Korat knows how agile the SQ5 is in curves. It also has variable shock absorber control, so you can choose between comfort and road feel. For a bit more money, you can get pneumatic suspension, which will allow you to raise the car to drive on dirt or lower it for pavement.
Je nachdem, ob ich mich auf der Straße oder auf einem Feldweg befinde.
Contributing to the dynamic driving behavior, the sporty Quattro all-wheel drive has software to brake the wheels on the inside of a curve. What Mathis really likes is the steering. Depending on your speed and angle of steering, it noticeably supports the transmission ratio and the power steering. This may not be a go-kart, but the steering is very direct and precise. Of course, if you have passengers who aren't used to a car that responds so quickly, maybe you should steer a bit more smoothly.
Dass ein Auto so schnell auf die Lenkbewegungen des Fahrers reagiert, da muss man dann auch schon mal ein bisschen vorsichtiger das Volant betätigen.
The car responds well, even though it weighs almost 2 tons. For Mathis, dynamic driving characteristics aren't everything in the SQ5. Appearance plays an important role too. The normal Q5 already has very striking lines, but many details have been sharpened even further in the S version. 20-inch wheels are standard. Our test car even has 21-inch wheel rims. The optional pneumatic suspension lets you take the car off-road. Mathis says the designers have achieved a sporty appearance worthy of the vehicle's dynamic character. He does quibble about one detail that doesn't support that impression. From a distance, you might think that this is the exhaust, but it's just a panel. The real exhaust pipes are under the car. Will a look under the hood at the engine compensate for that? Mathis says this is the real core of the car, the 260 kilowatt, 3-liter V6 TFSI engine. He removes the cover, which is still a bit hot. Take a look at this heat shield. Under it is the turbocharger, which brings the exhausts together just before the turbine. That means maximum torque is already reached at just 1,500 RPM and stays there up to 4,500 RPM. That's what makes this car accelerate so powerfully.
Und deswegen geht dieses Auto auch so brachial nach vorne.
It sprints from 0 to 100 in 5.4 seconds. Top speed is 250 kilometers an hour. Average fuel consumption is rated at 8.5 liters per 100 kilometers. Mathis notes that the interior of the SQ5 is fancier than that of the Q5. Contrast seams on the steering wheel are standard. These honeycomb-upholstered seats cost a bit extra, but the standard seats with Alcantara leather are very attractive. You can even order seats that have an optional massage function. They make the SQ5 not only a top-notch sports SUV, but also a very comfortable long-distance traveling car. Mathis points out that the SQ5 starts out at about 65,000 euros in Germany. That's expensive, but it has a lot more equipment, design, and driving fun than the normal Q5. The Mazda 3 has been an old acquaintance of the Golf line for several years. It's been successful around the world. It hasn't beat out the Golf or A3 yet, but it's definitely in the running. To ensure that that continues, Mazda has given its compact a facelift. The current third generation has been around since 2013. Car tester Emanuel Schäfer notes that up to now, the Mazda 3 has often been criticized for its relatively hard suspension. That made it fairly nimble, but at the cost of comfort. The facelift improves the comfort without sacrificing agility. The Mazda 6's G-vectoring control system has been installed in the Mazda 3. Vectoring control makes minimal adjustments to the engine's torque, thereby influencing steering and stabilizing driving behavior. Specifically, when you steer into a curve, vectoring control very briefly reduces the amount of fuel injected, and thus the amount of torque. This shifts the weight to the front axle, giving it more traction and improving steering. This was a facelift, not a new model, so the changes aren't drastic. One difference, the chrome bar no longer extends over the headlamps. The trunk holds 364 liters, or with the back seat down, 1,263 liters. Emanuel says the current Generation 3 Mazda has often been criticized for the poor or at least average quality of the materials used in the interior. Now this has changed. Everything is very chic and well crafted. He likes the tidily arranged instruments. Only one thing bothers him. The clefts around the sat-nav don't match the rest. Otherwise, he finds the interior design quite pleasing.
Kleine Spalte, die passen eben nicht mit dem Rest zusammen, aber ansonsten wirklich sehr schön gemacht.
The five-door Mazda 3 offers a choice of 5 engines, 3 gasoline and 2 diesel. The 1.5-liter basic gasoline engine is available only with the 5-door version. If you want this engine for the 4-door sedan version of the Mazda 3, you're out of luck. Emanuel provides some specs. The 2-liter gasoline engine in our test car produces 88 kilowatts. That doesn't sound like much, but it's okay if you consider that it also delivers respectable torque. The lack of a turbocharger means you'll have to rev it up a bit, but once you pass 3,000 RPM, you'll move forward quickly. This engine is certainly powerful enough to keep up with traffic. The manufacturer says the Mazda 3 consumes an average of 5 liters per 100 kilometers. Top speed is 195 kilometers an hour. With the right equipment package, the Mazda 3 has the i-eLoop energy recovery system, which stores braking energy produced in a condenser for use in the electric-powered systems. Emanuel says the Mazda 3's facelift involves many small and some big changes that make the vehicle much better overall, and yet the price has not increased significantly. That makes the Mazda 3 a stronger rival for its competitors from VW and Audi. The basic price of the Mazda 3 is 18,190 euros in Germany. Susie Cruz has made her dream come true. She's converted an old VW T3 into a camper. Now she can travel wherever and whenever she likes. She did all the work herself, from the furnishings to the paneling. The vehicle is equipped with 2 batteries and a voltage transformer. She paid an expert to check all the technology because she didn't want anything to go wrong. The Caravan Salon in Düsseldorf is currently showing lots of different campers. Sales of campers have really jumped over the last year, nearly 14%. If you're on a budget, you may want to check out the compact Adria Action. It sleeps 4 and costs about 16,000 euros in Germany. There's a kitchen in the rear and a spacious bathroom, complete with a sink and a shower. pull-out grille is available as an option. The Hummer Company has been building campers for 60 years. And mobile homes since 1972. Maria Donau has devoted her life to caravans and hasn't missed a Caravan Salon for 55 years. She remembers what it was like in the early days. Maria says the industry has made a lot of progress over the years. The first campers Hummer built had no refrigerators or even heating. To keep food cold, you'd cut a hole in the camper floor and hang a covered aluminum tub down there. That was our refrigerator. Thankfully, those days are over. Maria says Hummer has been using foam insulation in its vehicles since 1979. The quality of the insulation has improved since then. These days, they use a self-contained system. That includes the windows and the skylight. The insulation is extremely durable. We don't use wood in the walls, and the insulation is equivalent to that of an 80-centimeter thick brick wall. This exhibition features motorhomes for the 2018 model year. One of the most luxurious models is Hummer's B-Class SL. It's just under 8 meters long and 3 meters tall, and it can sleep up to 5 people. SLC stands for Super Light Chassis, which weighs 4.5 tons. The industry has embraced all-electric technology, like this e-home from Detlefs. The prototype is based on the chassis of the Iveco Daily Electric. Detlef spokesman Alexander Leopold predicts that this technology will spread quickly through the industry. That's why the company wanted to get an early start. It's presenting a prototype version today, but there's a long way to go before it can start mass-producing these vehicles. The S-Caravan from Green Cat Technologies is attracting a lot of attention. This is a prototype version of this futuristic mobile home. It can run on wind or solar power. The home, which weighs 2.5 tons, can rotate on a rail around its vertical axis to make optimal use of available sunlight. The S-Caravan's interior features a kitchen with a lot of counter space. There's also a bathroom with a separate shower area. When the home is folded up, it's just 2.5 meters wide and can be easily towed by another vehicle. Volkswagen Utility Vehicles unveiled its new prototype, the California XXL, at the exhibition. It's based on the design of the VW Crafter. VW's Eckhard Schultz says that they decided early on to keep the California spirit in the new class of vehicles. He says on test drives of the Crafter, industry colleagues would ask, when are you going to do a California that's based on the Crafter? And that's how VW came up with the idea for the vehicle that we see here today. It's a concept vehicle.
Und dann haben wir die Idee aufgenommen, in diesem Fahrzeug hier umgesetzt. Es ist ein Konzeptfahrzeug.
VW's Jörg Henkfoth points out that the California XXL has 5 different living areas in a relatively small space. Here at the back, the bed covers the width of the vehicle. It's 2 meters long. In the rear lounge, there's an LED projection TV. Jörg pulls up these panels here to show us the shower area. An excellent rain shower. A comfortable toilet and a wash basin that folds down. It's not clear yet when the first California XXL will hit the market or how much it will cost. Meanwhile, Susie starts off on a new adventure. she's found the perfect vacation road vehicle. She says that right now she's just happy to cook and surf. But if you'd rather have a store-bought camper or mobile home than build it yourself, the folks at Caravan Salon will be happy to show you around. Next time on Drive It, a world premiere in Stuttgart. Porsche rolls out its new Cayenne. And it's grown and matured. VW's new Polo.